Blood never dries in Rome. It only changes hands. The rebellion of Spartacus was supposed to end the chains, the cruelty, the spectacle of death. But from the silence left behind, another monster rises, born not from strength, but from fear. His name is whispered like a curse. Ashur, the dust of battle still hangs over the ruins of rebellion. The name Spartacus once shook the empire, but now it is only a memory, buried under the roar of new crowds, new slaves, new games. Rome celebrates its victory, drunk on blood and power. Yet, in the shadows of its triumph, one man crawls from the dirt, broken but breathing. Ashur, once a coward and traitor, watches the world rebuild itself without mercy. He remembers every whip that tore his skin, every laugh that followed his weakness. The streets are filled with gladiators branded for death, their pain turning to madness as the people cheer. Ashur walks among them, unseen, unremembered. His heart burns not for freedom, but for revenge. He sees what others do not. Rome's greed is endless, and every chain can be turned into a weapon. The sand of the arena is no longer just a stage for battle. It is a throne waiting for its master. As torches flicker against stone walls and thunder rolls over Capua, the voice of destiny returns. Spartacus may have fallen, Ashur whispers, but his war has only begun, and this time it will serve me. Power does not always come from strength. Sometimes it is born from the scars of survival. Ashur has learned this truth well. Once beaten, broken, and cast aside by those he served, he now walks with a quiet rage in his heart. The world that mocked him is changing, and he plans to shape it with his own hands. In the smoke-filled chambers of Roman power, Ashur kneels, not in loyalty, but in disguise. He offers his words like gold, his lies like gifts. The generals listen, the nobles smile, but none see the viper beneath his charm. By night, he trains the forgotten, slaves too weak for the arena, soldiers too scarred for war. He teaches them not to fight with honor, but with hunger. You owe the world nothing, he tells them. Take what it stole from you. His voice becomes a poison that spreads through the ranks, turning the fearful into believers, the broken into beasts. Rome's masters think they have found a loyal servant. But in truth, they have built their own destroyer. Ashur's rise is not loud. It moves like shadow, silent and patient. Each step is planned, each betrayal measured. The blood of Spartacus once stained his hands, now it guides them. As the moon glows over the gladiator pits, he stands above the men he commands. Spartacus fought for freedom, he whispers. I fight for dominion. And in that moment the serpent smiles, for he knows the empire has no idea what horror it has welcomed into its heart. The gates of the new arena groan open like the jaws of a beast. What once stood as Rome's house of honor has become a pit of nightmares, Ashur's creation, his kingdom of fire and screams. The crowds come not for glory, but for fear. They chant his name as the blood runs deep into the sand. Every blade that strikes, every life that falls, feeds his hunger for control. The banners of the house of Ashur rise high, black and gold. Gleaming under a sun that seems too ashamed to shine, Ashur walks through the tunnels below the arena, past the cages that hold his warriors, men and women molded by pain. To them, he is both God and devil. He gives them food, weapons, purpose, but demands their souls in return. He whispers promises into their ears, fight and live forever. Fall and be forgotten. The weak kneel. The strong obey. Above, the nobles cheer, blind to the monster they have made king, yet amid the roar of the crowd, a shadow stirs. A woman, a warrior once enslaved, now unbroken, dares to defy him. Her name is lost to time, but her defiance burns bright. Ashur sees her in the ring, standing tall while the world watches. She does not fight for him. She fights against everything he stands for. And in that moment, as their eyes meet across the blood-stained sand, Ashur feels something he thought he buried long ago, fear. For he knows rebellion has found a new spark, and it burns in her eyes. Flames rise over the house of Ashur. What was once a symbol of control now burns with the cries of rebellion. The crowd that once worshipped him now flees in terror as chaos takes the arena. Ashur stands in the center, sword in hand, surrounded by smoke and betrayal. His own soldiers turn against him, their loyalty crushed under the weight of his lies. The woman warrior, the spark he tried to silence, steps forward through the fire, her blade catching the light like vengeance itself. Ashur laughs, but his voice trembles. "You think you're Spartacus?" He mocks. She answers with steel, her strike cutting through the sound of his arrogance. The clash of their blades echoes through the ruined Colosseum, metal, rage, and destiny colliding. Around them, the walls crumble, the empire's pride turning to dust. Ashur fights not for power anymore, but for the fear of losing it. Each swing grows weaker, his empire slipping through his blood-stained fingers as he falls to his knees. Smoke curling around him like ghosts of the past, he looks up at the woman who now stands over him. "You can kill me," he whispers, "but the world will always need monsters." Her eyes burn with the reflection of the fire. "Then let this world learn to live without them." Her sword descends, and the serpent is silenced. The arena collapses. Dust and ashes rise into the sky, carrying the end of one legacy and the birth of another. A final voice whispers through the flames. Every tyrant falls. Every betrayer meets their dawn. The screen fades to black, and the world of Spartacus is reborn.